There's been a lot, like you saw this firsthand with, I mean, this was a major portion of the story with Conor Ben and with Chris Eubank Jr., fathers and sons. So I talked to Sean Porter about this, Tim Bradley, a bunch of people, Oscar De La Hoya, a bunch of people who their fathers were instrumental. How do you see that dynamic working? Do you think that it can work with a father playing a significant role in a fighter's life for a long period of time? Or do you think that it always gets to a point where it would be best if the father hand them off?
I think it's very difficult because you cannot expect a father to have a balanced opinion
Hmm.
of their son, and a lot of the time there's a huge amount of emotion involved.
Hmm.
Sometimes there's a huge amount of delusion involved.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, it really depends on the relationship. I mean, if you look at like Nigel Ben and Conor Ben,
Hmm.
since he turned professional, Nigel's just kept completely out of it.
Hmm.
He's been in training camps. He was a massive part of the last fight, but and by the way, he's someone that's unbelievably knowledgeable
Hmm.
and ad- advantageous for us to have him in the camp with Conor. I mean, forget the fact that he's his dad. He's a
Hmm.
former two division world champion, great fighter, knows boxing, so but um like then you look at like I don't know, Tio and his dad,
Hmm.
or I mean there's loads of them.
Yeah. So everybody,
But
I think.
yeah, and you just like Brian Norman maybe and his dad, and sometimes you listen to it and you're like, I know
Yeah.
he's your son, but come on, like, but you can't expect it. If I had a son that was, I'd be the same thing. I'd be the biggest supporter, the biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh, I think case by case, but
Yeah.
generally it's very difficult
Yeah.
uh, for father and son relationships to work in boxing.
Yeah, I see. That's beginning to be what I hear is the common theme from everybody from all different, even fighters are saying it.
Mm.
Deontay Wilder is coming back. What are your thoughts about that? Because I heard some things you said. I think after, so when it was set up where if he wins and AJ wins, then they were going to fight, and AJ knocked out Otto Wallin, but Deontay lost to Joseph Parker that night, and he's then since been knocked out by Big Bang. At this point, coming back, obviously this is a get right sort of a matchup.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about what's left with Deontay?
I think the fight's not really going to tell us too much, but just to get that confidence of a win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he struggles against this guy, he's got to pack it in.
Yeah,
But I expect him to win, but hopefully he can win well. And, we'd signed to fight Deontay Wilder. We were announcing it in an hour in
yeah,
Saudi Arabia. He lost to Joseph Parker. So, and then AJ went like that with his wins, but then he did get beat by Dubois. And now
mm-hmm.
Wilder's down here. But if he keeps winning, maybe people can talk about that fight again. So it's definitely a fight that I don't rule out, but I think people don't give Wilder much shot against AJ right now, but hopefully he can start looking good again. Again, we talk about fighters losing their way. There's a great example.
Yeah,
I mean, he looks so dangerous now. No, it's funny how a fighter people can be so fearful
mm-hmm.
of a fighter, and then all of a sudden have no fear whatsoever.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody would now fear fighting Deontay Wilder.
yeah,
Whereas at a point, everyone thought, "Oh my God, this guy is the biggest puncher in the history of the sport." And now everyone wants to fight him.
yeah, yeah.
So we shall see.